So I actually still have the curve history for this. So let me just grab it. Is that all of it? That should be all of it. All right, and there's the guide. Was this my guide? It has to be. Yeah, I think that's the guide for that. Control C, Control V. So, let's just actually reset to all of it. Sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place. No, wait, there was no guide for this. What am I saying? This is just a pure loft. Some things were sweeps as well, so it kind of makes it hard to remember. But yeah, okay. So now I remember what happened here. So what happened is that I started off just having just the shape and just arrayed it. That's why I had that curve there from earlier. So I used an array to get the curve because that curve matches well, it matches most of what I wanted for this face, which in the drawing, actually, don't I have the drawing on here? Yeah. Um, so like that line was actually pretty important because I knew that I wanted to have like that kind of like well resolved flattened head, and also that profile. So that's what it came from. Then I used it on an array to get these in place, and then once they were in place, I just hit show points and just modified everything so that this is not very clean. It ultimately ended up not mattering, but if it had created weird lines in here, I would have had to go in and clean this up. So I just got kind of lucky, I guess. This line has been causing me a lot of pain trying to smooth everything out and just make sure everything flows together. As you can see, I ended up just doing a cut here. Like I think this is, no, that's not the cut. So once I had that form, one of these, there we go. Yeah, so the ones at the top view, I used for the top silhouette, kind of like I did for the side silhouette. So the main thing of how you want to kind of think about this is that you're gonna have to set up your flow in one view, and I usually try to just kind of get it working in that view, and then just have like the silhouette guides and other views to just come in and kind of just like boolean. Shoot, I have it bound to my number 4 key. It's a boolean insec. Okay. But yeah, so that's the basic of how you want to do it, especially for like the larger forms. But really, it's about iteration. And the original, you can see I had, like, I wasn't sure what form I wanted, and so it gave me like this really big. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can zoom in. Sweet. I don't remember why I put this image. It's somewhere on my phone. But yeah, like on this one, like it kind of kept hovering between being a turtle and being maybe like a shark or a whale, though it was meant to be a whale, and just like sort of like all of that like form confusion was ultimately necessary for me to come up with something more streamlined. If I were to do this again, would I jump in immediately into the forms again, the way I did it this time? Maybe, but I think because I'm more familiar with how these forms will interact in 3D space, is why I can use this technique. So like this lines up with the geometry of, and I actually might have deleted it or split it off. Yeah, I think I split it off. But so like these, like that set, they have a relationship. Like you'll see that they all stop and start either in the same spot or in so this one stopped short because it goes underneath the jaw and I wanted it to tuck in. There was no need for me to continue it. This one actually extended out like pretty far out here, because the way that the array and the loft were going, if I stopped it, or the form itself actually stopped, it just it didn't have the flow that I wanted, so I actually had to extend it further past and then just cut. And it's kind of just like, I guess I would have to throw that piece of advice out there. Is like, a lot of times you'll get better results by making like a fairly large solid and then like cutting out. So like you saw actually earlier, I should not have deleted it, but you saw that like there was like all this geometry like underneath, because this has like an entire bottom area. But the reason why that was useful is that once I had like too much geometry, if you will, I could just do all the cuts that I needed, with a lot of liberty. I think there is some way I think I may have deleted those curves because it was getting kind of messy, but I did have to kind of tweak the interaction for in here, so that this top area would kind of split, so I had to like cut here, I had to cut up here, I had to make an extra shell up here. This is actually a ball, so like this, if I were to unhide it, you can see that what I used was actually just like a elongated sphere, which is a very useful shape for a lot of these. But yeah, the general rule is like this, for example. I would just wanna, and obviously that's from like the first iteration of the model where like everything is clunky, and I was just trying to get all the parts there, but really like I should just have like some follow through here and just go all the way to the tail. Maybe even make the tail either smaller or flip it, because like flip it this way, because it's not really working anymore. I think the whale form was a cool idea. I think the turtle were just kind of dumb. I don't know why I went with turtle. I like spliced in some turtle in there. Don't know why I did that. Probably had a good idea. I probably had a good reason for it. But yeah, and then like a lot of these sort of like meeting points, once you have like a basic shape like this, you would just kind of shoot. Oh, this thing. This line and circles will be the bane of your fucking existence, I swear. It's like if you ignore them, they'll just eat your life away. Okay, is this broken? Oh, this is broken. Okay, shoot. Will it come back? Okay, so it's fine. We're good. Yeah, I forgot I broke it to edit it. So that's going to be one of the tougher points. Let's try to see if I can fit 5. I can't. Let's go for 3. A lot of times you're going to have to worry about things like this, so that's one of the reasons why. Okay, I think I know what's happening. Yeah. Something, alright, I probably shouldn't spend too much time. This is already like a 10-minute thing. I'm gonna add points on both axes, and yeah, it's not liking it. Okay, is there anything I can do for it? Like, I don't know if that helped. I don't think that helped. I think that might have made things worse, actually. No, it did. Okay, good. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I would say, like, the next thing for me is gonna be to explore, how to just, like, grab, really? It's gonna be how to grab surfaces. And, because it doesn't work if you just grab it, so you have to actually separate it, and then you can start showing points, and once you start showing the points, then you can start having your fun, but you have to be careful about things like this, and that's why, was adding points earlier. Oh wait, my bad. Show points, add points. That's why I was adding points earlier. So you'll see that it does kind of get very familiar to what's it called, poly modeling in that way. But this is fairly new for me, but I've used it a couple of times in here. But the primary way that I get these forms is just through iterations. Like I'll have just like a rough draft, and then I'll figure out just like, you know, graphic read this way, graphic read this way. I kind of didn't worry too much about the graphic read this way because I have, and I can't really pick it. I'll just do this because I have just like this like dramatically over detailed piece in here. Oh, actually, I'm missing that. Wait. Oh, did I? Is it backwards? Yeah, I don't know why it's backwards. But I have like I have this dramatically over detailed little part over here. So I wasn't too worried about the front. I felt like the front would kind of just like form itself on its own, which it did, which was very good for me. But yeah, I mean, like, you probably could worry about the front a little bit too. Like, I think when I'm gonna start having to detail out the full face, I'm definitely gonna have to start worrying about that. I'm not a big fan of like the bottom area. You can see in the concept I have it as just like the smooth like sort of like what are those jet fuselage method, which I might do. I think so. Obviously this bulge is a remnant of using these for that form over there, and I already said that I want to just like take this and just so I'm pretty sure I've recorded most of the process, so I just have to find that recording and maybe post it. But yeah, I think, yeah, I'm kind of shocked by how ugly this bottom piece is, especially compared to the concept. I mean, it's probably more realistic. You would want this to be flat in real life so that you can set this on land. If it like were like sharp like this, you would need something else to balance your ship. And as far as just like cutting through water, this is a sub, not a surface vessel, so it doesn't actually need that like blade shape. It has like literally no use for it. Alright, but anyways, yeah, I hope this helps you. If you want, I can look through and see if I can find the recordings. Actually, I can just do this. But yeah, let me know.